channel.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Iron Rounds. Now, if you guys are not familiar or you don't follow the channel, let me just get you up to speed on this. So we used to do this like frequently, but now we're doing this seasonally. And Iron Rounds is real simple. We give our opponents 3 rounds. Each round they go on to compete with in different types of categories until we determine the final one. Now, in this particular one, we're going to do something special because it's very unique. We don't do Iron Rounds that much, so we're going to do something interesting, which is the good, the bad, and the wild. Now, you're probably thinking, what does that mean? Okay, well, let me just try to see if I can do this as quick as possible without making it too long. The good is going to be in this month of September. We're going to be discussing all these particular characters from who are, get this, don't have healing factors. Since there was a theme a couple months back with Deadpool and Wolverine being pretty much unkillable, we figured, hey, why not do characters that can be killed but are very impossible to kill based on their skill set? And these were the characters we brought up. So far we got the good, which is going to be all these heroes, anti-heroes that are going to compete. Then we're going to have next month in October all the baddies are going to go against each other, bad guys or anti-heroes again. Either way, it's going to go then, and then it's going to be the wild, which is going to be in November. We're going to have a special one-on-one with the good guy versus the bad guy to determine who really won the entire whole thing when it comes to our Iron Rounds fight. So let's get things going. In today's episode, you already see down in the captions who's facing off with who in this one. Now let's start off with round 1, space. Now what is space? Space meaning distance, range, you know, enough of a gap where you can do as much as you can in a fight. Like, it's open space, anything goes everywhere. You can run, you can hide, you can create distance. That's how it plays out. So let's get things going. Let's start off first with Daredevil's pros on that end. He can do a lot with his staff. This is what I call it, okay? I know there's a lot of people who will probably call it something else, like excrema sticks or something like that, but I'll just call it a staff. I'm pretty sure I'm wrong, but you know, I'll probably get grilled in the comment sections below for that one. Just please be respectful. Anyways, he has crazy physics with it. Like, there's no doubting that. Doing tricks that would render most opponents out cold when having to anticipate where the staff will land. So his ability to throw his staff in certain things like Captain America style is crazy. Even though, you know, obviously he doesn't have his sight, he still is capable of doing some of those impressive unique skills, and he shows that in his P.A.Fs. His hearing senses gives him enough time to measure out where Nightwing might go with his attack, as any weapon thrown at him, he'll be able to dodge it before it could be nailed to the necessary target. So what I mean is that, yes, Nightwing has all these really crazy batarangs and stuff like that to throw at Daredevil, but Daredevil, again, those heightened senses are always going to come in handy because he could be able to smell it, hear it coming in a direction, and be able to dodge it before it could make its final nail to the coffin, and so to speak, when it comes to nailing its target. Like I said, so yeah, he could dodge every weapon tossed at him, pretty much, I'm saying, in a sense. Now, let's talk about Nightwing's pros. He carries the most advanced weapons between the two, which means he can use so many avenues to trap Daredevil in a position that favors him. He can get his legs jammed in special super glue, detonate a tiny explosive to knock the man out without fear off his game. There's many to choose. Not to mention, Nightwing is no slouch when it comes to precision shots. So yeah, even though Daredevil is also impressive in itself, Nightwing is too. Like, he can throw some pretty good shots himself. So even if he, let's say, needed to throw a smoke grenade or a smoke pellet or a bomb, a little explosive, he can do that. And it would, obviously, Daredevil is human, so he's not going to be able to, you know, dodge it with super speed, but he'll try to dodge it, but it's not going to be good enough if the explosion lands near him and he happens to bounce off of that. You know, there's just so many angles where things can go wrong for Daredevil in this situation. He too has his staff. the Eskrima sticks I mentioned before, with way more tech-based capabilities than Daredevil's own. So yeah, you got to give him credit for that. The weapons he has are high-tech stuff. Acrobatic-wise, he can avoid any crazy deliver far-range shots thrown by Daredevil's way, and faces ridiculous skill fighters on the regular. I'm talking about, obviously, Deathstroke. It wouldn't be a surprise, at the very least, him dodging attacks. If he could go toe-to-toe with Deathstroke on a regular day basis, who is one of those most skilled fighters himself and has the 90% brain function capabilities, yeah, there's no questioning Nightwing also can bring it himself. So, obviously at the end we have to determine who would win this round. Endgame wise, this round seems to favor Nightwing more than Daredevil, as both share the same skill set when it comes to precision shots, reflexes, and almost weapons, but Nightwing just has more in his arsenal. So yeah, this round goes to Nightwing, considering that he has just a lot more gadgets to his favor. Round 2, Face Off. Now Face Off is up close and personal, so meaning that it's not a range shot, it's a close-up shot. Alright, so let's start off with Daredevil. His father could take a beating and give it back. This was inherited by the son. Matt has been known as a tough guy to put down in a bare knuckle brawl. Yeah, he is tough. Like, you can't, like, when you see him fight, like, he will give his blood, he will give everything before he gets himself put down. And a perfect example of that is this that scene in WrestleMania 17. I know you guys probably haven't seen it, but if you do, watch that scene where The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin go at it for the whole time. The Rock just keeps on lifting his arm up from the pin, so Stone Cold couldn't get the win. It was crazy. So it's kind of like that. He just won't give up. He takes the thunderous blows from opponents, and he can hit them equally as hard as they do so. His martial arts skills also just can't be topped by many, as he has fought characters before Bullseye. You remember Bullseye, precision shots, crazy up the yang physics. Elektra, she was one of the heads of the Foot Clan, I think. I can't remember what it was called, the League of Assassins or League of Shadows or something like that, I can't remember. Wolverine, who obviously has decades of experience in his time during wars and others, experience across countries and globes. Deadpool, who Taskmaster couldn't replicate his moves. Moon Knight, who made Deadpool surrender at one point. Iron Fist, and even Shang-Chi, who's one of the most impressive fighters in the Marvel Universe. Yeah, you can go toe-to-toe with them. All very top level fighters with little something extra added at times with their skill sets. So we just keep that in mind. It's safe to say he would give Nightwing a run for his money when it comes to these type of skill fighting, durability, and martial arts. Now, let's get into Nightwing. Pros. At one point in the comics, he took over Batman's mantle for a time while Batman was recovering, and he made the old man proud, as he was almost a spitting image of his skills and talents. This would mean that he also possessed the same skills levels as Batman, making his martial arts style on the same grounds as the Man Without Fear, which means up close this might go to Dick Grayson's way. I do believe that Batman, if you compare, like, look, Daredevil is impressive, but Daredevil versus Batman, I mean, I might do that one, because I'm going to tell you, if I'm being honest, I think Batman just has it more. He obviously has more experience. He has a lot more going for him, and he's used his senses and his extreme peak physique in order to really match up blows with some really super crazy characters. So yeah, if he's being compared, if Nightwing is being compared to Batman's skill set, yeah, that's going to say something. His staff, it possesses the built-in taser in it. So the Eskrima sticks that he uses does have like these kind of electrical currents in it, where he can tase Daredevil with an opening on it, and not to mention other tools on him he could use to catch his breath or keep him where he wants him. You know, like I've mentioned before, he could use some kind of like elastic glue or something to keep Daredevil where he needs him, or he can create smoke or use something to kind of keep that distance, catch his breath, and then go back at it again. But ultimately, we got to figure out the end game, who would win between the two in this round. And I'm going to give this round to Daredevil. As Nightwing himself, as an impressive fighter as he is, he just doesn't have the grit like Daredevil does to pull it off with his own two fists. So yeah, this round goes to Maddie. Yeah, you can't, there's no questioning Daredevil. when you, let's say you take the tool belt away and it's just the two of them fighting it out one-on-one up close, yeah, Daredevil just can take way more of a beating, and I'm pretty sure he'll be able from his experience to give it back so much that Nightwing, even though he's tough, eventually will get overwhelmed and beaten on that end. So yeah, now let's go with round 3, who goes home. Now, who goes home is real simple. At the end of the biggest brawl, last man standing, last person standing, if you want to go be technical, who is going to walk away and be able to go home to their loved ones? Now, let's start with Daredevil. Pros, his senses give him wiggle room for anticipation. His fighting skills have matched up with fighters who are in depth knowledge of all forms of martial arts. And his staff has the means to get him out of a jam no matter what the circumstances might be, whether falling off something or needing more off of it. His weapon of choice is primo. Lastly, possessing extraordinary peak human levels that should be considered super but are without powers. Just so we're clear. Now, Nightwing's pros. His long-time experience in the circus and in action alongside Batman truly makes his reflexes in the level of superhuman. He has equally dodged bullets in his time along with his fair share of top-tier fighters. Those examples are Deathstroke, Bane, Cassandra Cain, and even Ra's al Ghul. But even with their experience, they still couldn't put the boy down at times. Having been Batman's sidekick for some time, he has received some perks with along his ride. He has been given pretty high-tech weaponry. What's even more impressive is that most of it can fit on his tool belt, pardon the pun, providing an array of options in the most dire circumstances, whether improvisation or causing diversions. His belt and gadgets are up there for offense and defense. But we gotta have an end game. We gotta have a winner. Who's going home? Both have similarity towards one another, but when it all narrows down to it, you just can't ignore senses. Yes, Nightwing has the tool to weaken Daredevil during a fight, but if the gadgets were removed from the equation during the fight, let's say removed during the brawl, Daredevil gadgets would never have that problem, as his senses are heightened, and those you can't really get taken away at any point. They're literally built in you, so that's the advantage he always has over his foes. To add on, his martial arts skills have been put to the test by the best Marvel have to offer, or had to offer. While Nightwing is mostly known for holding his own against Deathstroke, but the extra nudge to Daredevil is the tolerance to take a beating. Being a skilled fighter has its benefits, but add a high endurance of pain tolerance and you practically got an unstoppable machine. With that being said, Daredevil takes this one and advances on. And that about does it here, No Press fam. If you guys don't agree with the results, just hashtag your vote and give your reasons why they should move on. Now, if your argument is properly compelling, then we may just swing our vote to the other side. Also, we really appreciate you, No Press fam, keeping it 600 subs. Peace. And as always, guys, if you guys enjoy our content, you know what you guys can do. You can share, you can like, or you can subscribe to our channel. When you guys subscribe to our channel, you know what you do. You guys are building our empire and allowing us to provide you guys with even much more greater content for you guys to enjoy.